Hello everyone and welcome to Tamborine Mountain, just a short 1.5 hours drive from Brisbane. Today I have the pleasure of visiting Scenic Rim Regional Council and meeting their CEO, David Keenan. It's an exciting time in the area given that the Olympics in Brisbane are only a few years away. That being said, the area you see behind me will play host to some Olympic events, including the rowing. So enough from me, let's jump down now and visit some of the local council staff and hear what they have to say about the area.
G'day, my name's David Keenan. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Scenic Rim Regional Council. And I've been at Scenic Rim Regional Council for approximately 18 months. These are the gentlemen that coined the phrase Scenic Rim. Scenic Rim is really important because we are one of the growth areas that is coming out of the Brisbane or the southeast Queensland area. We're expected to double our population by around about 2041. So that will put more pressure on services and infrastructure as well. Our growth is primarily driven by the agribusiness or agriculture sectors. There is also manufacturing through here, professional services, construction, and of course tourism through here as well. An increasing number of people are moving to the region for the lifestyle benefits, and we see a lot of professionals moving here to take advantage of the beautiful scenery and also the great local food and wine that is produced throughout this region. There are great places to go, small towns within the area. There are bigger towns with the likes of Boonah and obviously Bow Desert, and then there's a whole different community at Tamborine Mountain as well. Having a beer at Tamborine Mountain is not a bad thing to do on a weekend, or catching a meal up there as well. We are a destination for the Olympics. We have the rowing, canoeing targeted for Lake Wirralong, and we're hopeful that that's all going to come through to fruition. That will place us on the map as a centre of excellence for rowing. This is a place with enormous potential located just outside of Brisbane. One of our key challenges is to try and get more people to work, live and play within this region, so about creating opportunities here at Council. We do have quite a few vacancies, but we're competing against those larger councils, so we've got to be innovative in the way that we can attract them. There's approximately 480 staff here. That fluctuates somewhat depending on who we can attract to work here and also the type of projects that we're doing. There's also, as I see here, the Casual for a Cause, where we go about raising money for local charities each month. Each of the charities are actually nominated by the staff members, and this has ranged from the Queensland Cancer to Animal Rescue, right across the spectrum of local groups who are accessing funds. It's really important to have a great culture because that invigorates values. Those values allow for measurement of how people are performing within the organisation and how we're performing as an organisation as a whole. Unfortunately, here in Queensland, we seem to have a huge amount of natural disasters, and those natural disasters require innovative thinking and working with teams, allocating resources correctly and making sure there is proper communication between all the different agencies. Whether it be bushfires, whether it be floods, whether it be drought, working with teams that create resilient communities to ensure that people are going to be able to get on with their lives after the events have finished is really important, and that's where I feel really proud. From a strategic planning point of view, we're doing work on the Brommelton Special Development Area at the moment. We are very heavily dependent on rates, and we need to try and find alternative to rates or increase rates in industrial areas. Working with the state government and local landowners at Brommelton, we are hoping to attract transit-orientated development as well as industries that will deal with the waste there at the moment but also in the future. We're open to all different ways of thinking about how to solve current problems and problems in the future. We run a community consultation process as part of our budget development, where we go out and have independent meetings at Boonah, Bow Desert and Tamborine Mountain. We get people ranging from 10 people attending one meeting to about 80. So that allows us to get information in and, where possible, act on that information to give better outcomes for staff and the community. I would encourage people to think about being a Chief Executive Officer. Think about how you get there. That means being involved in peak bodies, undertaking further study in the Institute of Company Directors course at a minimum, but also acting as a mentor to give back to the local government sector. It's really important that directors think about taking on the role of growing those people around them, acting as a mentor or seeking to be a mentor to someone outside their own particular local government authority. I've had mentoring relationships that have exceeded 5 or 6 years, and providing that feedback on how a person grows and can grow, but also receiving the feedback about how you can grow as well. There is a need to work much more closely with the councillors as a CEO. As CEO, you have to be across every brief and every area. As a director, you really are only responsible for your own area, but a good director supports the other directors by being involved in their areas as well. After all, we are meant to be united and seamless in how we do our work and how we present to the rest of the community. The CEO role can be a very lonely role, and it's important that each CEO has a network to be able to get feedback on decisions they may be making. So making sure there is a strong network there, make sure that you use the peak bodies, especially across Queensland through the Local Government Managers Association, and put that forward in a way that you can feel more confident in the decisions you're making. Good on you, DW.